Hello everyone, welcome to the live Q&A and competition draw. We are live at Yas Marina. Welcome to the live Q&A. And we will be joined tonight by Elliott Simmonds and Jamie Greene, aka Simmonds. There's been a lot of interest in the prize draw tonight, as well as the question and answers with Jamie and Elliott. And we'll be crossing to them at 5:30 p.m. We have a hello to Lily's Vlogs and Shosha. Shosha, you came in second today.
Shosha, usually I expect you to come in first, but today you are second. Weekend.
There's the rest day for Shosha. Reynolds Joy, hello. Let us know once you've joined us, guys. Say hello on the live chat. Make sure you use the live chat for the Q&As tonight. And also on our Instagram account, you can fire in your questions. I'll be joined also, as you heard, by none other than Billy G 101 in the studio.
So far during the live coached workouts, the Dark Horse, myself. Guys, good evening. Welcome. We're very excited to have you all joining us this evening, not only for the live Q&A, but also for the draw to find out who has won the home gym setup, which will be drawn after our Q&A with Elliott and Jamie. So we will be going live to Elliott and Jamie in about 5 minutes.
I've got hello there from Ali Al-Kendi. Hello. Shaha Ali, that's fantastic how you've got the Vogue Fitness in highlighted there. I'm not sure how you did that, but very cool. Hello, Stephen Hayes. He says hello to everyone. Ursula, hello, Ursula. And Ali Al-Kendi also says good evening and good morning. Samaya Shams, hello. Hello to Billy G 101's YouTube favorite, Syrian Fadio. Mariam Saftawi, she's excited. Well, you're in with a chance to win if you've tagged the Instagram picture. Mayub Qasim, hey everyone, hello. Nada Al-Habi, hello. Suhail Saif, hello Suhail. We'll be crossing in 4 minutes to Elliott and Jamie. Make sure you get your questions ready. Anything that you'd like to ask them, anything about training, nutrition, their thoughts on the games.
Their personal lives.
They said earlier, it depends who's asking. Hello, Juma Hassan. But if you're interested in what it takes to compete at the highest level or what's involved in elite performance, it's a great forum to ask them. Hello to Nabil Cervantes, I hope I pronounced that right, from Mexico.
Lily Vlogs, what is the capital of France?
Yeah, what is the capital of France?
F.
Paris. Hello to Imad Kandil.
King Kandil, the king of all.
He is the King Kandil is in the house.
King Kandil, I hope you have some good questions ready, Habibi.
We have Nada. Hello, Nada.
Juma from Abu Dhabi.
Juma Hassan from Abu Dhabi. Suhail Saif says New York. You're almost correct. You're just a country and a Pacific Ocean incorrect. Julia Chambers, a fruity peach. Hello to everyone. Hello, Julia. King Kandil says no. Any king while you there, champs. King Kandil, you are still the king. Fraser Knox tuning in from London. He's interrupted his private time to join us. Saud Al-Mazroy, hello, the king of Rak as well. We've got a few kings in the house. Paulie BS, hello from Dubai. Hello in Dubai, Paulie. Hopefully the 24-hour sanitization is working well for everyone in Dubai. Ty Farrell, g'day, sounds like an Aussie. Joyce, hello Joyce. Mayub Qasim is from Dubai and following the quarantine guidance. Fraser Knox wants to know who is the king of Yorkshire. I think that's probably
King Candile.
King Candile, Johnny Burstow, or Paige. Masoodi is here. Jasner is here. Hello. Masoudi's taking a little break from his bike ride. We're crossing to Jamie and Elliot in just under 2 minutes. Lily's Vlogs, what's the fastest pastry in the world? Maybe a sausage roll? If you roll it down the hill? A scone?
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone, yeah. Yeah, true.
Do you want to the Netherlands.
Suhail Saif, are you going to turn the camera on? Yes, we're going live on the camera at 5:30 in about a minute. Alice Matos, hello. Haitham Rahman, hello guys from the Netherlands. Hello, Haitham. Nathan Saberton. Oh, Nathan, how you doing? Hopefully you're keeping fit. Yeah, Lily's Vlogs, it was a scone. Lloyd O'Flanagan, evening all. We have Salma Farah. Hello, Salma. So as I said, we'll be crossing to Elliot and Jamie in just under a minute. So make sure you say hello in the comments. Get those comments fired up as we ask questions as well. It's a Q&A session followed by the draw. Elliot and Jamie will be conducting the draw. Alessa AZ, hello from Dubai and Murdiv. Hello, Omar. Hello, Omar. Nathan, he's checking. Oh, okay. To check his MyZone. We'll check your MyZone. Make sure you've been working hard. Joe Farah. Hello, Joe. Ross Patterson. Hello, Ross. What about Eddie Hall for the King of Yorkshire too, says Shaha Ali. We've got 98 Ejaz. How you doing? Muhammad Gamer 12. Hello. Brendan Mabin. Hello. Khalid Al-Mazuki. Hi. We've got everyone flooding in now. That's great, guys. Salam Fadak. Hello. Tanya Reid. We're going to cross in 5 seconds. We're going live.
And here we are. Good evening, Elliot, Jamie. How are you?
Good evening. Good, thank you. How are you guys?
Good. It's great to see that we have a great turnout so far on the YouTube comment section and the viewers. So how this is going to work, guys, is we have put out on our social media accounts already. So we have a set number of pre-asked questions that we will be delivering to Elliot and Jamie. And then, of course, we will be answering your questions here, followed by the live draw announcement for the winner of the home gym setup competition. So, guys, feel free to now start getting your comments or your questions into the comment section. But we will begin with what is deemed as quite a personal question. Okay. This was sent in via our Instagram account earlier in the week. And it simply reads, how did you two meet? Details.
Oh, straight into it. You can start this one off.
There you go.
Well, at CrossFit, yes, of course. We were both, Elliot was coaching at Yas. I was just a member. I would come sneaking my way in. And from there...
Fraser Knox not doing his job on front desk.
Yeah, I'll just go past. I'll just go in.
Yeah, so, Jamie came as a member using Open Gym with a girl called Taryn from New Zealand. And then Anthony and I were a bit scared to approach, well, I say Anthony and I, more I. So I told Ant to go and ask Jay if she wanted to start training with us. And then started training with us, won Dubai Fitness Championship in 2014. And then the boys had to find a loophole, so they employed her.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd have been fired for dating a member.
True story.
From there, that's how I got my job.
So she can thank me later.
Yeah.
Guys, we have a great question here from Sahir Ali. What supplements have you seen work for you, e.g. creatine, protein shakes, etc., etc.?
Yeah, so this is a very broad question, I guess. I can say what works for me and Elliot himself. We supplement mostly just through competition season. So normally when we're in a bit of an off season, we'll just go back to just regular food and not stress about that so much. But for me, I just stick to fish oils, because obviously that's going to help with your joint health, just help you recover a lot more. when you've got that higher load of training. Otherwise, protein, I just stick with Nuzes, which is a vegan protein, and that's mainly just to sort of like up your protein throughout the day without actually having to eat a lot more food. Otherwise, we just have magnesium at night because that helps you sort of wind down, helps with your sleep and recovery. And then from there, it's just like, it can be more individualized. Like, obviously, I just take your vitamin Bs. Maybe females sometimes have to supplement a bit more with, the vitamins like vitamin B, vitamin D. But otherwise, we'll try get most of it through food. But you've found a bit more with some of the other.
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking specifically to us, then year-round, omega-3s, greens in the morning. Obviously, we use Nuzest because we work with that company, and it's a company we trust. But greens in the morning, fish oils and magnesium, they're the ones that are year-round, they don't change. And then, like Jamie said, in a competition period, we would start to add what our nutritionist would recommend. So, for example, in strength blocks, I sometimes use creatine, and that seems to help, whether it's more psychological or physiological. Hasn't actually been proven, I do not think, but yeah, that's about it, right?
Good stuff, guys. We have a question here from Lloyd O'Flanagan. What is the biggest guidance you can give to somebody starting out in CrossFit? So I guess what's the best advice you can give them?
Yeah, so we've been asked this like lots of times over the last year or so that we've done a few Q&As, and we both agree that we both started in the same ways. We were both members of a box, and we went to classes all the way up until we qualified for regionals. So in 2014, we both qualified for regionals for the first time. Myself in Europe, Jamie in Australia, the Pacific region. And just go into a box where you trust the coach, there's a good community, and you're actually improving week on and week out. When those improvements start to plateau, and when you start to regularly be the top performer in the majority of the workouts, that's when you start to look at doing more or adding stuff. Obviously, you can fast track certain progress, like you can add pull-up technique or you can add lifting technique outside, but until you master the basics or start to move really competently across the boards, I don't think you need to look at more individual stuff. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. Like, obviously classes, you've always got someone watching you. If you want to like accelerate in something, or something's confusing you a little bit, go home and watch a YouTube video on it, or research it yourself, and then when you get back to the class, you can ask the coach about it, or you can, it just sort of might take a bit longer to click in your brain before your body actually follows. So research it, and then also get into a gym that you trust.
Good stuff. Guys, this is a question for both of you. From Suhail, what is the best morning routine to get into better shape?
Okay, well this is completely individual. Like, some people love getting up really early, 5 a.m, and then cracking straight into it, whereas others might like waking up at 7 or 8 a.m, having a coffee, just waking up slowly and then getting into your day. Okay, so sort of work out if you prefer the morning or not, but the best way to get into shape or just get a bit of routine in your life is to keep it the same every day. So find something that keeps you productive for the rest of the day, and then stick to that. From there, like, I wouldn't chuck in like a big list of a routine to do. Start maybe just waking up, getting up, drinking a litre of water, not a litre, 500 mils of water, then have your coffee, and then start your workout. And then from there you can add to your routine.
Yeah, and I think what's really important is not overdoing it. For example, like, chances are you've got a full-time job and there's other stresses going on in your life. And I'll use my dad as an example. He's actually lost more weight in the last 3 weeks since his quarantine's been on than he has in the last 5 or 6 years. And that is simply because he's recovering, because he can't go to work. He's sleeping a little bit more. He's a little bit more active. He's got time to get up and walk around. And the coffee machine, he is at home, so he could make coffee machines, but those like negative temptations aren't there. So just because he's in a better routine of working from home, sleeping a little bit more, recovering, that stress has gone down, he already is starting to get into better shape. So yeah, like Jamie says, it's about getting a routine that works for you and not just trying to squeeze things in, you know, like if you've got a busy schedule, going to the gym either at 5 a.m. or 8 p.m. every day isn't necessarily going to get you in better shape. Maybe you just need to look at eating a little bit healthier to begin with, and then finding where you can reduce the stress in other aspects of your life.
Guys, we have a question from Masoodi, but we've also had this from multiple people via our Instagram account. If the CrossFit Games, if the 2020 CrossFit Games is an online competition, what are your predictions? How do you think it's all going to work?
I think the interesting thing about this is for us who are actually involved in it, or maybe I'm speaking just for myself here, but I try not to think about what it could be, because you don't want to build something up in your head or prepare for something in your head that either isn't going to be that way or maybe might not even happen. You know, you're just adding uncertainty. So for me especially, I'm just training, working, using this time to work more on my weaknesses. And if it goes online, then so be it. I know the only thing, like, I know that's not the answer you guys are looking for. So if we're trying to answer the way that you guys are looking for the answer, then Jamie had an email from Vogue, for example, who are going online in June, and they've started by asking what space training we have available to it. Well, not to us, to the people who are doing the Vogue Invitational, what space they have available, what equipment, and then they would ship equipment out. Like, do you have access to a gym? Do you have access to a home gym space? So Vogue really is going to be the first one that will give you an idea what the games could look like. But the way we both see it, and I know, like, I'm trying not to answer for both of us, but obviously we've discussed it, is that if it goes ahead, great, but it's coming pretty quick and you'd have to book flights, accommodation, all this, all that. So if it doesn't happen, we're lucky enough that the season happens every single year. You know, it's not like the Olympics where it's every 4 years. So you're happy with that?
It's a very detailed answer there. Thank you, Elliot. A quick question for Jamie. Jamie, what has been so far your favourite sanctioned event that you've been to? And why?
Favourite sanctioned event. I'm trying to think of all the ones I've done. I do love Dubai. The DFC is a very good event just because of all the different things we do. Obviously, you're at the beach, you're in the desert. That stadium's pretty cool. And I also really like Dubai because everyone from Yas or everyone in Abu Dhabi can come up and support as well and actually like see us competing live. So Dubai is awesome. I also really enjoyed Australia. That's just because I was heading home. So like, everyone loves going down under. It was a good comp and then a good party afterwards.
Everyone loves going down under.
Everyone loves going down under.
Remember that.
Now, a really good, relevant, particularly to the circumstances that the majority of the world are currently finding themselves in, is from Mojo, who just asks, he's working out from home, he's got no equipment. What can we do to replicate the deadlift with stuff from home? And then he extends the question to squat, bench press, etc., etc. How can he replicate, for example, a barbell in his own home? Definitely a relevant question for the circumstances now.
Did you say he does have some equipment or no?
He has nothing, no, but he's got no equipment. But he wants to try and replicate those movements, whether it's a squat, deadlift, or bench press, from his own home. Have you got any advice or suggestions?
Yeah, I think, look, with no equipment at all, it is going to be difficult, but it doesn't mean that you can't you can't improve during this time, or at least maintain. If, for example, Olympic lifts, so we'll start with Olympic lifts, the best way that I've seen to replicate is broomstick lifting. So for those of you who follow or already know, Sonny Webster has actually put out a broomstick program. And I know it seems silly. Like, I know a lot of people, when we coach, for example, people come and they're like, oh, we know the movement, we don't need a PVC pipe. But the more you drill positions, the more your body is going to remember those positions and the more strength you're going to have in those positions. So, for example, for those of you who've done your level 1, how sore were your hamstrings the day after you did the deadlift portion of the level 1 seminar? You don't lift any weight. You hold a PVC pipe for about 20 minutes and you have the sorest hamstrings in the world the next day. And that's just from drilling positions. So my best advice is no equipment, get your broomstick, and just drill positions. Obviously for squat, it's a little bit easier because you can do body weight, you can pick up a person, you can put some weight in a backpack. I know Paddy Hegg doesn't like that one, but you can.
Step up, single leg work.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of single leg work you can do. So for example, if you can't pistol, now's a good time to learn a pistol. Start by either sitting one leg down to a chair and standing up, or stood on the edge of a box, lowering yourself down, doing negatives. There's lots of like, the more eccentric loading you get, the more strength benefits you're going to get in the long run.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, gymnastics is just as important as lifting.
Greenwood loves a little bit of gymnastics. So this is a question from, sorry if I pronounce this wrong, from Dyer, who said that he has to go to the box late at night as he's got other stuff to attend to. I assume that's work, etc. And by the time he gets to the gym, it's usually empty, and he misses out on having that sort of like competitive feeling. What do you recommend to overcome this?
Yeah, that is a difficult one if it's quieter. But in most gyms or most boxes, you'll be able to see what people have got on the board. You can see scores. If you really want that competitive environment, sort of look at that, and you know what someone's hit. So you know if they were sitting next to you doing their deadlifts, they'd be moving at that pace. So I would go off like a board like that, but then it's just going to have to be something in your head that you're just going to have to switch and think, imagine someone's next to me, I need to keep pushing, and sort of find that motivation from inside. Is that it?
Yeah. And I also think, if you can learn to push yourself when someone's not there, imagine what you can do when people are there.
Elliot, I have a sneaky suspicion that one of your sponsors and your sponsors, Jamie, is online asking questions, because they're both asking, what shoes are you currently wearing?
The Wit Nano 9.
And Jamie Greene?
No ball.
Hopefully that satisfies their contractual requirements.
But if you look at all of our apparel, it's Wit, so you're right, don't worry.
Sarah, what supplements do you suggest in terms of boosting fat, obviously besides exercising?
As in...
What supplements should she be taking
cutting
to...
fat.
I assume that means to lose weight, yeah. Body fat.
I mean, I'm not the biggest... I think Jamie as well. We're not the biggest advocates of supplementation.
Especially not for losing weight.
Because, especially not for losing weight, because... It's basically like not an excuse, but it's like, what magic pill can I be taking? There's actually no substitute for just hard work and consistency. Unfortunately, it sometimes is a bit hard and mundane, but that's the way that it's got to be. There are little things that you can add that are a little bit more natural to help, like green tea. Is a good supplement, or even just a drink you can have in the morning, which isn't necessarily that bad for you. And I know carnitine allows you to cut into fat stores whilst working out, but they're the only two really that I'd recommend. What about you?
Yeah, supplements, I wouldn't focus on that for fat loss. It's literally just making sure you're not overeating, not stressing your body too much. But yeah, like the things that Elliot mentioned, like green tea and that, is just sort of stopping you from filling your plate with something else, sort of. Okay, so yeah, I would just focus on eating well and exercising when you're feeling good.
For those that have just joined us, we're in the questions and answers with Elliot and Jamie Simmonds. We'll be concluding the discussion with the live prize draw. So if you've just joined us, you haven't missed that. We've got quite a lot of questions coming in, so we're going to try and get through some of them. We've got Leon Snyman from Zimbabwe, and I guess he would like to know if there's a way he can get his shirt off any quicker in the warm-up. Is that possible?
Don't know. We've yet to see it.
Butter.
Yeah.
Butter.
We're yet
Butter
to see
and
it.
grease. Manuel Diogo has a question for both of you. If you had to choose 3 exercises, which ones will you choose?
Just
Yep.
our favourite 3.
Your favourite 3?
Muscle ups, handstands, and squats.
Running, clean, and... I've freaked. I've absolutely freaked.
Rowing.
Pull-ups.
Elliot loves a 12-minute plus WOD. That's his jam. We've got a great question here, which coincides to another set of questions that we've received earlier in the week. How did Jamie end up being a champion in CrossFit? Or alternatively, to add on to that, what's Jamie's previous sporting history, if you like?
She came third. That's how she became a champion.
So tell us about what sport you did when you were younger, Jamie, and how that took you into CrossFit.
Yeah, so growing up in New Zealand, there wasn't too much else to do, so I played a lot of sports. But I did gymnastics for 10 years, so when I was like 5 to 15, so obviously that helped CrossFit a lot. I remember the first class I went to, got in there, could not do an overhead squat, even with like a training bar, but pull-ups were fine. And like, I don't think many other girls could do that. So it was like the gymnastics came really easily just from 10 years of doing it. I also played rugby for, I don't know, a good like 14 years. And then athletics, so you're running, and just like touch rugby. What else was there? Basketball, just like a lot of sports that everything is sort of crossed over to CrossFit. Because I didn't start CrossFit till I was maybe like 22. And I get a lot of messages from teenagers where they're like 14, 15, and they're doing CrossFit now, which is great. If you're loving it, it's great. But they're sort of asking how can they be good at CrossFit right now? But I wouldn't worry about that because you've got years of it to come later on. I would just focus on playing sports that are similar. So like you're going to do some weightlifting, then focus on weightlifting for a little bit, do some gymnastics, do some rock climbing. All that will cross over, and then when it comes into a competition, it helps a lot more if you've got that background. But yeah, just have fun with it.
Good stuff. Fatima, I hope that also answers your question, which was, how do you sort of put yourself on a good pathway to making it to the CrossFit Games from a young age? So I hope that answered that one for you as well. A really good question here is, what's your favourite workout that you've ever done at a competition, whether that's Sanctioned, regional or CrossFit Games? What's your favourite individual workout that you've done, both of you?
Out of all of them, I have to say Murph as a team was pretty fun at the games. It was pretty stressful. We had a few fights during it, but it was very fun just because it had that element of like no one knew what they were doing. We had the what was that thing called? The carry.
Oh, the stretcher.
The stretcher where you carry people on, and it like made such a difference to work as a team. So that's one of them. And I also loved Amanda. Obviously, Amanda 45.
Jamie, for those who don't know what Amanda is, what Amanda?
Amanda
what is
45.
Amanda?
It was
Who
the
is
one
Amanda?
at the games.
13, 11, 9, 7, 5, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was so normal Amanda's 975 muscle ups and squat snatches, and this one was 13, 11, 975. And I think it's just because I like any workout with muscle ups.
Did you win that workout at the CrossFit Games, Jamie?
I did. Maybe that's why.
And Elliot, the
Fame.
same question to you. What's your
And
best workout?
A little bit of quiz knowledge, as Fraser Knox, I'm sure, will be typing in, is that it was the first event in the Coliseum ever in Madison that
Oof.
Jamie Greene won.
There you go.
Is that right, Fraser? Comment if I'm incorrect, please. You can put that on Wit Quiz tomorrow, mate. My favourite event actually was probably the Madison Tri Plus in the 2018 Games. Just because it's something that I've never done before. That long board. What's it called? Like a paddle board. And there is nothing else ever in my entire life that have made my lats cramp like that did. Like, it was unreal. But yeah, I mean, every competition has an unreal event, right?
DFC always
Like
does.
DFC always has an event that's memorable, and it's not even necessarily the ones you do that well in. Like, for example, the handstand walk one in the games in 2018, where we did all the obstacle course rubbish.
I hated that, but yeah.
I actually beat Jamie in that one.
Yeah.
15 years of gymnastics, eat your heart out.
It's a really good full draw.
Elliot, a question specifically for you. What's the story behind the Inshalla tattoo?
Is that from a local?
That is from Mayub Qasim. She would just like to know about the story behind your tattoo.
So for those who don't know what Inshalla means, it means in God's will. So basically for me it just means what will be, what's meant to happen will happen. It's out of your control, and you just follow the path that you're on and go as hard as you can in that path, I guess.
Anchor has a question, which is, and once again we've received this from multiple other people, so it's a great question. Who inspires you the most?
My old man.
Why?
I was going to leave it there, just in case he's watching. Don't want his head to get too big. No, there's just it sounds like one of those things where, you know, everybody says this, but if you want, there's no one with the work ethic like my old man.
Big Jeff.
Yeah, Big Jeff. There you go.
Greenwood.
And mine always has been my younger sister. So she...
Becky Greene.
Becky Greene.
BG.
Yeah. So we obviously grew up together and like we were very competitive against each other. So I think like I can also thank her for pushing me through all those sports, and that obviously helped me when I grew up in CrossFit. But also like there was like a period there where I was useless, probably pretty slack, but it always helped to see her still working hard, and it's not just in like, she's a runner, so it's not just in sport and that, but in like schoolwork, and she's a lot more of a perfectionist and stuff, and I feel like I have to try to live up to that sometimes, so I think that's a good thing.
Good story. When we went back to Dunedin at Christmas, this guy asked Jamie and I if we'd just joined the gym, and I said, no, this is Jamie Greene. He was like, oh, you're Becky Greene's sister. I thought that was a good one.
But Jamie, your sister is a runner. She's got a pretty impressive, is it a 10K?
She's got impressive, everything.
What's your sister running 10K in?
What did she run? I think it was...
16:34.
No, 10K.
That's what
Oh, no, sorry,
10K.
that was a 5K.
5K is about
I think
16
it's-
and a bit minutes.
Yeah, 5K, 16 something, and I think her 10K was
She won the Christchurch
35
one,
to
didn't she?
36 minutes.
She PB'd in the Christchurch.
Yeah.
Can't remember what it was.
She might message in tomorrow maybe and
Yeah, she's
let us
sleeping
know.
right now, yeah.
She'll be sleeping now.
Paulie has a question, which is how do you both manage stress and pressure when in competition?
Jamie's pretty stressed out.
That is a funny one. It's sort of like the stress and pressure is what you put on yourself. When it comes down to it, no one, like, people care, but it's what you put on yourself. So I think if you can sort of get yourself in the right headspace before the competition and just trust your abilities, and if you know you've put in the work, then you've just got to trust yourself. But otherwise, it's literally just trying to keep your head down, focus on the things you can control, like breathing, eating the right foods, warming up right, and the rest follows.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is, which a lot of people don't kind of understand because you only see the competition, is that competitions are the celebration of the horrible, painful hours that you've put in leading up to that comp. So if you've not put the work in by the time you're there, then the pressure is really on. And there's a pressure to perform, but that's because you know how badly you've hurt yourself to get there. And it's more a pressure of living up to your own expectations, I guess. But we're lucky to have a really good team around us to keep us grounded, and, you know, when we have our little moments.
Yeah, so we don't always handle the pressure that well. There's definitely been plenty of moments where we've mucked something up or done something stupid, and it is because of the pressure. So yeah.
Just to answer Gabriel's question about why you're not wearing masks, I will answer that for you guys. Jamie and Elliot are husband and wife, and they do live together, and the studio is at least 10 meters away from Jamie and Elliot. So everybody at Vogue Fitness is, of course, taking all of the precautions outlined by the UAE government. So we don't need to worry about too much about
Thank
their
you,
health.
Gabriel, for being our guardian angel.
Next question. We have a great question from Kylie, actually, that's come in on Instagram.
Oh, no.
And she would like to ask, what extra precaution should you take with your training when you're in the 45 plus age group?
Were you programmed for people?
Yeah, so the most important thing is volume, and that is literally the older the competitor, unless you're Sam Briggs, the less volume you should do. And that's pretty much, like, I'm lucky enough to program for people from as young as 16 to as old as in their late 30s, actually 40s now. And yeah, from my experience, volume is the master, and it's just for any age, making sure you warm up properly is very important. But then making sure that there's a good balance of volume and that you're recovering with your sleep, your nutrition.
Just gotta have everything.
Yeah.
Lucas Spinelli from Vogue Fitness JLT has a question.
Ciao.
And a statement. Your friendship with Sam Briggs is motivational.
Oh, Briggsy.
How did that all start?
That time in a fight.
Yeah, so
Program.
the first time I met Briggsy was 2014 regionals. I obviously knew who she was, and she was being treated by who's now my coach, Jousey, but I didn't know who he was. I'd just been told that he's like this wizard of recovery, and my legs were in bits. So I just went up and like a little embarrassed 19-year-old boy and was like, oh, could you tell me how to recover? And then 1 year later or 2 years later? 1 year.
Couple years.
2 years later, she was in Dubai in a fight for a training camp where we met her there for the first proper time. And then shortly after that, Sam and I had the same coach, and then we've just been on training camps. And then ever since 2017, she's lived with us every November for a month and out-trained the whole gym pretty much. Yeah.
Representing Vogue Fitness while she's here.
Yeah, she is.
Mashallah.
She is our mascot.
Yeah.
A quick question moving on to diet and supplementation, which has come through multiple times, both via Instagram and on YouTube. Is it really necessary to use BCCAs or... AAs,
Coach BCAA.
Or are there any other natural means?
Aminos are a funny one because I've actually seen a lot of studies about aminos not actually doing anything. I mean, do you know more on this than me?
It can help a bit. Like it can help with your recovery a bit, but it's kind of just like getting your body. It's like a protein sort of.
Yeah,
thing.
for those who don't know what aminos are, branched chain amino acids are basically the vital amino acids that are in your body. And they're basically just a protein that apparently are meant to help you recover. The only time I really have ever used aminos is for fasted cardio.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about the subject to really comment.
Yeah, like it can help a bit, but I think a lot of people use it just to have something better to drink while they're working out as well, which is a good thing because then you're going to keep drinking more water and it's going to help with hydration and that. So maybe the best way to go is make sure with the BCAAs you are getting, they don't have all these extra additives, but you've got a bit of hydration in there as well, and then that's going to help the body function better too.
Just make sure you got a mint because it gives you smelly breath.
We-
Anthony Monks calls me amino breath.
When Elliot has his fasted,
Back in the day.
his fasted cardio, and the smelliest breath from BCAAs.
Fraser Knox just chirping in there that Becky, Jamie's sister, actually has a 36-minute
10K.
10K.
There we go. Fraser knows.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Fraggle.
Thanks, Fraggle.
Do you remember?
Great question from Vincent McLean. What, in your opinion, do you consider to be the best exercise and fastest way to build an engine?
Oof. I would say not rowing. Just because I hate rowing. No. I would say running if you're a comfortable runner. If you've got maybe like tracks, because you don't want to be pounding on the concrete all the time. I think running. I know Elliot's going to say biking or rowing.
So the most versatile piece of equipment that there is a C2 bike, in my opinion. Just because with no impact, you can train every single energy system. For those, like some people can't run because of the impact, some people can't row because of like back issues or whatever it may be. Whereas as a bike, you've got the resistance set in. You can go long and aerobic, you can go short and anaerobic, you can go sprint. You know, the variance is there. I think they're probably the best bit of kit that there is. And it's better than the assault bike because of the ability to change the resistance and yeah. So.
And for those that have just joined us as well, we'll be doing the prize draw at the conclusion of the question and answers.
If you're only watching to see
Yeah.
if you've won a home gym, be patient. I've got a lot to say. So sit tight.
We have got a lot of questions though, so sorry if we don't get to your question. There's a quick hello to Rennick Cowley, who is from New Zealand, and he wants to know some backstories of your other tattoos.
Because he thinks that Elliot may be Samoan.
Yeah, actually.
It's the build.
It's the build, yeah. More like Ethiopian than Samoan. No. The backstory to my tattoos, I'll go quick. The one on my chest was from my grandma. It's my first tattoo. It's like a Mandela lily over my heart. My second one was done in New Zealand. I had a guy design the mandala to go with my chest, and then different things in Polynesian culture that mean different things about strength and sport. My third tattoo was my Inshalla, which you've already mentioned, and my fourth tattoo, which some people might not have seen, I'll get my gut out, is the fern under my chest, which represents my wife. No, it doesn't really. Which represents like new beginnings and enduring power.
And the New Zealand All Blacks. And
Paddy's just cut up because Australia haven't won anything since the 1900s.
there's a great question about how the quarantine has affected your training sessions. So from Lewis Irvine, what does both your training look like due to this lockdown? How many sessions, etc.?
So
I'm broken from the Yes workouts.
yeah, so we're actually really fortunate that we've got a good home gym set up. So actually our training has stayed the same, but our recovery has probably increased because of the lack of physical hours that we're putting in terms of coaching. Obviously we do miss coaching and we love our job, but in terms of we're basically living at the minute a professional athlete lifestyle here in Abu Dhabi, with the gym being shut, and then we're just getting a few extra wads in with you guys in the week.
Yeah, these Yes workouts. I don't know how everyone's feeling from the Devil's Press. My back
Castro?
was broken yesterday. It is now just coming back to normal. But yeah, training's been good. It's been a lot easier to spread out the sessions without having to rush in and get to the gym and that. Everything's at home. But yeah, and it's been really good having those workouts at night because we know you guys are watching, so we can't slack. And it's good just to get that extra one.
I know Billy Graham wishes you weren't watching so he could cut some reps out.
We'll be doing that.
But no, it's good fun.
Now we're going to go into a little bit more of an Middle Eastern flavour on the next couple of questions. The first one came from 98 Ejaz quite a while back. Since living in the Middle East, have you incorporated any Middle Eastern specific foods into your regular eating?
What's that?
Dates?
Oh yeah, I've
Yeah.
always eaten that though.
I mean, I'd never really had dates before. I mean, I had, but not regularly before I came here. Other than that, like, I wouldn't say we've incorporated it much, obviously because we're pretty strict on our nutrition, but we are fortunate to have a lot of friends in the community that have taken us out for dinner or cooked their home cooked meals for us, which we really love and have enjoyed experiencing.
Is it true that eating camel gives you more power?
Yes, I think camel gives you 10% more lift power.
All right, that's excellent.
Yeah.
And also, we're going to shift, staying on that theme, more into Ramadan, which is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
And a few questions covering Ramadan. The first one from Hanan Al-Mhari. What is your recommendations during Ramadan? When is the best time to work out? What is the best routine to follow? Tips.
Yeah, so we spoke about this in one of our live workouts in the week, either last week or the week before. And we've got coming on 6 years of experience at Ramadan here at CrossFit Yas now. And what we've found is just you guys doing what works for you. So depending on if you feel better training at the end of your fast, so right at the end of your training session is when iftar is, and you can break your fast then, or whether you are somebody who prefers to eat, let that settle, and then train later on. That is completely individual, and then we recommend the duration of time, either pre-fast or post-fast, that you do train. So for example, if you feel good and you feel like you've got the energy to, having fasted the whole day, to train fasted, and you can still hit that intensity, then we recommend that you do that. Get your fast-acting carbs in, such as your dates and your hydration, as soon as you finish your workout, before then getting into your feed later on in the evening. Or you get a smaller meal on board when iftar comes, so you get your fast-acting carbs like your dates, but plus maybe a little bit of a meal. Wait 1 to 2 hours before you train, and making sure that you've hydrated properly. Jamie obviously is a qualified nutritionist, so she could probably give you a little bit more on the nutrition side. But from the training side, it's making sure that you feel good enough to put everything into that workout still to keep the intensity and to make sure you keep improving.
Yeah, and nutrition-wise, a lot of it is like what your goals are as well. If you're here maybe to lose weight or whatever, you might find it better to train fasted or not have to worry about lifting weights and all that. But if you're here trying to get stronger, then it might be a good idea to have your meal first and then come a little bit later or train a little bit later. But yeah, the best thing is having a routine. Like if you know when you're eating foods, you're not going to overeat at one point. I know this is hard when you have your big family dinners and whatnot, but just having a routine and then listening to your body. Like don't just keep eating because it's there. Make sure you slow down, and if you get full, just get rid of your plate. You can eat again in a few hours. So it's just sort of listening to your body as well.
A quick question from Hisham. Hisham, I'm actually honoured that you believe that Elliot and Jamie might know the answer to this. It's good morning. When do you think the crisis will end? Talk about putting you on the spot.
I don't really know, Hisham. If you want me to give you some clarity, mate, it will end when we are told we can go back to normal life again.
When we stop worrying about it.
Yeah. Hisham, just think you don't have to worry about your nanny putting the wrong colour shorts in your gym bag every day now.
Wear what you please.
That is Hisham Nass, right?
Yeah. Also, there was just a question from Joe Bailey Black on what WODs will there be during Ramadan, any different hours. We are looking at moving them to 5 p.m. for the daily live workouts. Now, there's been a couple of questions related to diet that we've covered. There's a few more, and I'll combine this one from AK Power as well as some other people. In terms of its intermittent fasting and vegan diets, what is their impact upon CrossFit and just general exercise?
This is very like up to the individual. So sort of if you feel better following a vegan diet, then it'll be perfect for you. If you find you follow a vegan diet and then you come and you try work out in the gym and you feel terrible, then it might not be the way to go. Otherwise, you might need to adapt your training around what you're eating if you want to stick to that vegan diet. Otherwise, it's basically just trial and error. Same with your intermittent fasting. All of it can work because everybody's different. It's just coming in and making sure that you feel
and
okay.
In terms of pros and cons of both of those diets in related to training.
Yeah, before Jamie goes into that, all I would say is for those of you who've watched The Game Changers and not on Netflix and now think that being vegan is the best thing since sliced bread, go onto YouTube and watch the CrossFit breakdown of The Game Changers, and it's basically a scientific nutritional breakdown of the actual science behind The Game Changers and how actually flawed it is. But Jamie will give you some.
Yeah, that movie's obviously not one to go off, but if you're...
But so many people have gone vegan since that movie. That's the problem. So
Yeah.
many people are like, oh, have you seen this? It's revolutionary.
Yeah, so there is that, but if you ethically think that
Yeah.
you want to be vegan, then that's great, and you can definitely make it work. But yeah, like fasting and that, it's just... You want to make sure, especially with fasting and with vegan, I would try go to a professional first and maybe get some guidelines from them to start with. You don't want to just dive in with what you've seen on Instagram. So maybe get some guidelines and then they can specify it to how you live your daily life. So if you're training in the morning, they might work out when you should fast until, when you should stop eating, when you start, and what you should be eating. But yeah, it's very like personalized, and I wouldn't just dive into it without knowing it for you.
But as the question said, related to your training, energy, obviously calories in. You just need to make sure that you're still getting the sufficient calories in, making sure they're quality. So it doesn't really matter if you're fasting, as long as you're still getting the calories in within your window. We fast until midday twice a week to A, give our gut a rest, but B, also to enhance recovery on that low intensity exercise. So we do like zone 1 to 3 heart rate, long duration cardio twice a week, fasted. Yeah. And like we tried like vegetarian, vegan for a bit, just because a few years ago our nutritionist had advised it. And personally, it wasn't for me, but I do still have a vegan meal once a day, just to try and get different, treat myself, to get different types of like protein, vitamins, minerals, all that stuff in nutrients.
Yeah, I definitely understand. I know when I'm competing and training, I prefer following more of a like vegetarian, pescatarian diet. But
Yeah, so thanks for answering that, because some people are very passionate about their nutrition, and we've got a good question from Hisham. He says, if it wasn't CrossFit, what would you do instead, both of you?
I would be a surfer.
Wasn't expecting that.
I'd probably be working for my old man in some way. I don't know. Like I've always loved sports, but this has been the first sport that I've actually stuck to no matter what. So it's hard to say what. Like I was in the fitness, loved fitness anyway. Did sports coaching at uni, but I'd probably have ended up having to go and work for my old man, or I'd be dead. Who knows?
Yeah, I might be clearing out your rats and your spiders.
You might want to add context.
I might be working in pest control. You never know.
Pest control. Quick question. Who are your favourite CrossFit Games athletes?
Current or?
That was the question. Take it as you like.
Oh.
Other than Elliot.
Mine was always Julie Foucher, wasn't it? Julie Foucher. So yeah, I would stick with that.
Briggsy. I mean, I've always loved Fronin, obviously,
The champ.
I've always loved Fronin, but in terms of just raw fitness, I mean, like bloody hell, Sam Briggs is ridiculous, and that's not just a personal bias a view either.
We've got a question from Mayu DMGO. A recent study shows that intensive workout, aka CrossFit, can negatively impact immune system. Your thoughts? Other than that being fake news, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I've not had Corona yet, so no. I mean, like obviously we've got to take all the questions seriously. I'm not going to sit here and give like a science journal about that, but let's just say CrossFit recently took the American Sports Journal to court and won because people falsified claims about CrossFit. So they're the only company to have ever beaten the Sports Journal of Medical Association.
So we won't get into that, but there is a wealth of information on that where CrossFit has successfully sued large professional exercise bodies in the States to demonstrate that CrossFit is one of the leading cures for chronic illness and disease.
Yeah, and one thing I would say is all sport is high intensity activity, right? So you're basically saying that if you're, or this study, not you personally, would basically be implying that training for any sport is detrimental to your immune system. And
then Masoodi says, enough with healthy nutrition. What's your favorite cheat meal and dessert?
I was waiting for him to ask this. So once a week, we have a good cheat day. Last night I had a curry. It was amazing. Curry and a glass of red wine. It was beautiful.
Yeah. I'm more of a pizza and beer. Pizza and beer fan.
Candy, no.
And candy, yeah.
Oh, Green one loves their candy.
Yeah.
A very, very good question has just come in from Joe Bailey Black. And the question is, when normal life, whatever that may be, resumes after Corona, what will you both take from this experience? And as in terms of like your own training goals, life, and just in general.
Oh.
Deep.
No, go on.
Let me think. I think I would, I don't know. Yeah, you go.
I think the one thing that's sad is what we were discussing last night over our glass of wine was that I think as soon as we are allowed to go back to normal, nobody will think twice about how well nature is thriving right now. You know, if you look at pollution levels being at an all-time low and certain animals being in certain places that they haven't been for thousands of years, like, I think it's sad to think that we will ignore that and go straight back to being how we were before without probably thinking about it. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I won't buy coffee so much.
Yeah, we have noticed we save a considerable amount of money. So we'll probably be more aware of how many coffees we buy every day.
Yeah. But no, I do miss coming into the gym and coaching the life we had.
Guys, in about 4 to 5 minutes, we will be moving forward to the draw. So keep your questions coming in, and we'll answer as many as
Maybe
we
some quick fires,
as
and then
we
we'll
can.
some
So we got
any
a few
quick fires,
fire that have come in from
and we'll answer quick.
that have come in have come in from Instagram.
Pew, pew, pew.
This is for both of you. What would be a nightmare workout during a competition for you both?
Anything with rowing, not the biggest fan.
I think, like, I know that we obviously have weaknesses, but the idea is that there isn't a nightmare. You know, like, if rowing comes up, it's not going to be a nightmare for Jamie, you know. She's the third fittest woman on earth. It doesn't matter what comes up. Whereas for me, yeah, if 265 snatches comes up, you know, might struggle a little bit.
So for Greenwood, it's rowing, and for Elliot, it's 265 snatches. Mohammed Rabi is asking, Team Richie or Butterfly Bros? Buttery Bros.
Is there an option 3? I think Paddy Hegg and Billy Graham Productions beat both of those.
There you go. Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah, there you go. Agree?
Okay, so it's the Billy Graham, Paddy Castro production.
Oh, you can't do that. They're both friends of ours. So
Favorite movie?
Jamie's is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Mine is Inception.
Dumbbell or barbell?
Dumbbell.
Barbell.
Best vacation spot?
That we've been on.
In general, where would you like to, the question is, best vacation spot?
Somewhere we're skiing.
Maldives.
Sorry, these questions are coming in now. A Vogue Fitness political question here. If you were to work at another Vogue Fitness branch, which one would it be?
Marina Mall, because it has all of the equipment. It's good. It's politically safe.
I might have to retire.
Oh, Greenwood. Through. Ski erg, bike erg, assault bike, or rower?
C2 bike. Oh, but I love the rower the most.
Ski erg.
Sorry, these questions are still coming in. Ali Al-Kindi, are you from Down Under or a Kiwi?
Kiwi.
That is the question. Shorts or leggings? Elliot, I'll leave this one to Jamie.
Leggings.
Oh, once again, another political question. For you both here at Yas Marina, what is your best class to train? Which hour, which time?
I've got mine. 4:30 Metcon.
Habibi.
Don't have one. Everyone.
Okay, now, all right, guys. James Sibley sneaking into my DMs there, wondering when this draw is earlier. James Sibley, if you're watching, it's coming up right.
Are you like? Have you got something better to do than listen to me, Sibley? Have you? Tell you what.
For those that haven't been doing our live workout, the 4:30 p.m. Metcon does get a lot of coverage actually, because the motto in that class is,
if you don't cheat, you don't win.
Exactly.
I love coaching it.
You've got to win the warm up in that class.
I love seeing the records being broken.
And also, if you finish early, you do an AMRAP of abmat sit-ups with Nasib.
We've also had a quick joke come in from Lily's vlog. What does a house wear? A dress. Okay. She did ask questions several times, so we got to Lily's vlogs. But anyway, we're going to go now to the live competition draw. We had over 10,000 entrants. Elliot, if you'd like to just talk about how we came up with the winners here, what we're about to draw.
Yeah, so we had 10,500 entrants approximately. Today we used this online, whatever you want to call it.
Randomizer
software, online software. That was the word I was looking for, thank you. That cut it down to 250, we've lost the name, 250 people. So here in this little bowl, we've got 250. Shortlisted? Yeah, shortlisted names. And the winner, if you are watching, you need to email info, so that's INFO, at VFUAE.com. So that's info at VFUAE.com. Okay.
Good luck, guys. We're very excited for this.
The moment you've all been waiting for.
If you've got a table, do a drum roll. The winner is Ali Mo Sarah. So Ali Moss Sarah.
So that will be the Instagram username.
Hang on.
So we've taken the handles. Elliot will show that to the camera.
Can you see that?
If we'll just get our team to zoom in, focus in on the winner. Ali, what was it?
Ali Mo.
No, it is. Oh, you had it there. Just off a little bit.
Yeah.
No. Oh, you had it in before.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So there we go.
That is the winner of the home gym setup competition. So as Elliot has said,
So Ali, you're welcome.
make sure that you email info, INFO, at VFUAE.com just to discuss with us how we're going to deliver that to you, how it's all going to work, what you've won, and the finer details. But congratulations and well done. And thank you to everybody who liked the post, followed us on Instagram, shared it, and then tagged all their friends. Thank you.
I think to be safe as well, guys, just in case you get the email wrong or something, you can also message on Instagram.
Just to stop everyone emailing in pretending they're Ali, we're actually going to give a code for you to verify through our Instagram account also from your account that you tagged us in.
Yeah.
Okay, so that being done, hopefully everyone enjoyed the questions and answers with Elliott Simmonds Jamie Greene, aka Simmonds.
Shout out to Charles Thompson, Tarek Murray, and James Sibley is now actually sucking up to me because he's bored of listening to me.
So guys, thank you for tuning in. Elliot and Jamie, thank you for your time. We will be back tomorrow live on our YouTube account for another coached workout.
This week, not programmed by Paddy Castro.
No, he's had some influence though.
So we will see you. Thank you for your time and have a lovely evening. Stay safe and
Bye,
take
guys.
care.
Thank you.